We're live, motherfuckers! Alright.
To the live.
To the live.
Living. Livin.
Love it. Never throw a bong, kid. Never. But, anyways, we'll get to this. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of The Freaky Space, where we talk about horror, sci-fi, and fantasy to a overanalyzing degree because we are nerds and we overanalyze the stuff we love. I am your host, Kupo Jimmy, joined by Psycho Jeff. Hey, buddy.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Wubba lubba dub dub indeed. You are in great pain. Well, we'll welcome everybody to the Freaky Space, where, like I said, we talk all that, and we're gonna go with today. We're gonna talk about the Twilight Zone, one of mine and Jeff's favorite shows. And we're not talking the new one. We're talking the 1959 to 1964.
Yes, Rod Serling, the man.
Who, if anybody didn't know, didn't just narrate, actually wrote. Yes, sir, he wrote that show. Every episode.
Yes, he did.
Wrote, narrated, and all that jazz by this wonderful man who just... I just want to touch on a great guy. Like, well, I don't know how he was in real life, but whatever. It was my impression. Great guy. But he had such a creepy look to him during the show when he did the narrations and you'd actually see him. Did he do that on purpose, or was that just his face?
It's hard to say.
I didn't know the guy, so I don't
might
know.
have been overemphasizing for the show.
I would like to hope so, because he seemed like one of those guys from everything that he wrote for these shows and stuff, that he was a rather over-the-top guy and a very... He would do innuendos and stuff very sly, but you would catch it and be like, that's kind of off. That's weird. Why is he looking at me like that? It's crazy. It's working though. But
and I always found Serling to be the epitome of class.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing that. He is classy as all fuck, always dressed to the nines. Like, mind you, that was the 50s style, but whatever. The 50s style is just dressed to the nines. It's a dope as shit style. There's a lot to take care of. There was a lot of clothes. Hot days, I would not want to wear that shit. But anyways, I digress.
Incredibly open-minded, but, still a man's man.
Still a man's man. Thinking about the crazy shit. But yes, he created...
And there's not enough of those anymore.
Oh,
the man's man.
God, no. And we're not talking about sexist assholes. We're talking about the man's man. But we're getting off topic. Let's get back into it. The Twilight Zone. So... He wrote, how many was it? 156 episodes from 1959 to 1964. First one was on October 2nd. The last one was June 19th, 1964. We're going to start with the very first, which was on October 2nd, like I said. First episode is called Where Is Everybody?
An absolutely terrifying episode to start with, too.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, I'm going to just give out the premise here, and we're going to just dissect it from there. A man finds himself totally alone in a small town. His panic escalates into terror as he desperately looks for an explanation. So, turns out this guy, I figured we'd just talk right through it. Guy, he wakes up in a town. Long story short, it's a whole army experiment about isolation going to space. So you just know where it's going with, guys. Spoilers, if I have to say spoilers for something this old. But we're just going to go through it like that. So he finds himself walking just into this random town, into this gas station. Right? Actor's name was Paul Comey. Not sure of anything else he really did after this, but his name was Paul Comey, playing a character named First Officer John Craig.
Yes, sir.
He has amnesia. Doesn't remember anything, just remembers wandering into this town. Doesn't even remember waking up or anything. Just walking into this town with nobody there, but fully functional, everything running, slowly slipping into senility. No, it's a different movie. Slowly slipping into madness.
And the mind playing tricks on itself even still.
Oh, and just incorporate...
The craziest part is that his mind's already playing tricks on himself. The whole reason him being in this thing to begin with, and then it's still messing with him while even being in the state of delusion.
Yeah, that's just terrifying. I do love, the whole army experiment's really, we'll get to that at the end, which I find is just has an even more horrifying element to it, and it's not even the military part, but just when he's walking through the town and all these slow nods that basically tell you what's going on, like that this isn't real the whole time. And besides like the craziness, but the books on the shelf that are all Last Man Alive, Last Man on Earth. Every single book on the shelf is Last Man on Earth.
Right. Might have been a deep-seated fear he already had somewhere in the back of his mind, and being subject to this experiment just sent it into overdrive.
Oh, completely. It could have been anything like that. It could have been a book that he read when he was younger that just didn't really mean anything until all of a sudden it snaps back now, right? Or was that whole town constructed? Was it even real? Was it constructed out of pure memory? What was it? Right?
We know it was in his head. I'm not even sure. Not even sure about that. And then it had to have been some kind of a memory for him. It must have been like the town he grew up in.
But at the same time, he had amnesia. Something. Right? So he couldn't put it together. But everything felt familiar.
It's like living in a walking deja vu, It's like everything is so familiar, but yet I've never been here before.
Exactly, right? No, I did like that, and especially when it actually started taking its toll on him, to just little frustrations causing such maddening reactions from him, like when he got caught in the random phone calls from the phone booth, which is them trying to contact him from outside the booth.
Right, that was the trippiest part.
How a lot of the external stuff translated into his actual dream. How he saw how he broke the clock in the gas station at the beginning, and the clock was the same clock that was actually inside of his booth. So it was his brain translating, real world objects into this thing, because he's kind of in that dream state, half alive, half awake state, right? But I did love how just everything was incorporated, and just how he slowly started freaking out to the point where he starts talking to his own goddamn reflection, because he's just so fucking lonely.
And when he's first walking up into town, and then all of a sudden the music starts playing in the diner.
Yeah, everything's running. He runs in. Hey, eggs and bacon over easy. I'm having a coffee. Where you got a customer? Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
It was also just really odd, like his real. Most people would pretty much freak out right away and put stuff together, but the slow realization that it took him a while to figure it out was like his own brain processing it.
Well, it's like the fact that he's there, right? He doesn't even he didn't even remember who he was, how he got there, what he was doing.
No, nothing. He just knew he was walking into town. No, but then when they actually pull him out, obviously when he's freaking out and pushing the button and freaking out to get out, it's the panic button that's in there. And they finally reveal that this is an Army or an Air Force experiment to simulate isolation to the moon and back.
Yes.
Which was, I wrote it down here how long it actually was. It translated, it was 400, he spent 448 hours and 36 minutes inside of this box, isolated by himself. And
so is that like a week?
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. He was just fucked for this point, right? So, anyways,
Jesus Christ. Even like a few days would be much, man. Like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, that's fucking
Jesus Christ.
Insanity, isn't it? So, either way, the one part that, yes, I find that scary that the isolation and the psychosis and everything that would happen from it. The real scary part I find is when, they're finally pulling him out, and he comes out on the stretcher, and he sees the moon, and he looks up at the moon, and he honestly, first thing he says is, "We'll be up there soon, and next time it'll be real. It'll all be real." And when he says that, is he saying the town's going to be real? The vision's going to be real? I know he's saying I'm going to go to the moon, blah, 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 but just the way he says it and just the psychosis that he just fucking went through.
This is kind of a good topic to have picked up on, considering everything that's going on right now. Everybody being in isolation.
Yes, exactly. This is actually really good for the self-isolation. Don't go crazy, people. Don't hallucinate small towns. Unless that's your thing. Go ahead. But yeah, just fucking Jesus Christ. That is actually really relevant. But no, that's the part that scares me is he's so adamant to still get right back into a box essentially and get shot up into the moon.
Yeah.
And that's without even landing on the moon. The whole experiment at the end, you find out it's just him going around the moon and coming back.
The part that kind of gave me chills was the final conversation with him and the general. Was when he said to him, is we can simulate this and we can simulate that, and blah blah blah. We
can pump in oxygen and pump out human waste.
Yeah, but when it comes to shutting down the activity of the human mind, you know what I mean? If that happens while you're out there, the next time, you'll be alone.
Oh, yeah. No, the next time you'll be on your own.
Right? Like, you won't have anybody to pull you back.
No, it'll be, his total talk at the end there is like, the one thing that we can't provide for him is the basic human need for companionship.
Yeah, like that similar episode further on down the line, which we will get into.
We will get to that eventually, but yeah,
it involves a man stranded. Well, not so much stranded, but what's the word I'm looking for here?
Imprisoned?
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Imprisoned. I don't know why that escaped me for a second, but imprisoned on this asteroid with a female companion, and that's about all. I'll leave it there for those who haven't or have seen it. I'll just leave it there.
We'll leave it there. We will get there eventually, of course. But that's a good place to leave off on that one. The next episode that I wanted to cover, because we're going to try and cover all three for this episode, 3 first episodes for this one episode of our Freaky Space. But the next one, episode 2, One for the Angels.
Yes. Very good episode.
Once again, Rod Serling, written and narrated. All right. This one's actually a really fun one. I like the opening narration for this one. I'm going to read it out fast. I may have been practicing it a few times. Street scene, summer. The present, which would be like 1954. Man on the sidewalk named Lou Bookman, age 60-ish. Occupation, pitchman. Lou Bookman, a fixture of the summer, a rather minor component on this hot July. A nondescript, commonplace little man whose life is a treadmill built out of the sidewalks. And in just a moment, Lou Bookman will have concern himself with survival, because as of 3 o'clock this hot July afternoon, he'll be stalked by Mr. Death. Right? Like, I love that intro. I fucked it up there, but whatever. I don't know why I started
taking
like
his
Shatner
own
there for a minute.
trip into our freaky space.
Oh, God. I just realized something. Did Shatner get his whole, why would you do this, and just emphasize it from Rod Serling? Because he has those weird breaks, but they're just not as overemphasized like Shatner. Did Shatner rip off Rod?
It's very possible, my friend. He did start on that show.
I think I might have just uncovered something huge. All right. That's a side note for another day, but I'm on to you. All right, Captain Kirk?
Now that Rod. You say that, man, he totally stole his style from Serling.
You hear it now, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm going with that from now on, because like you open it, you hear the open. I was doing this, and all of a sudden I'm like, why am I sounding like Shatner? No, I'm trying to do a Rod Serling. Fuck's sakes! Damn you, Shatner! Damn you to hell! Shatner, you son of a bitch. Well, at least he learned from the best.
Well, if you think about it now, he tried to fucking mimic it all with this whole weirder what that show he did.
Oh yeah, I remember. I never watched it. I heard about it. I never watched it though. All right, but anyways, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah, I never liked it either. I watched like one episode. It was annoying.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Well, that tells why it's not on TV anymore. Not to be rude, but he stole Rod Serling shit, so I don't care.
Rod Serling's the original, man.
Rod Serling is the original Spock or Kirk Talker. What?